Welcome to Some Shit We Like. I am Bryce. We are all back together. This is Mike and this is Rick. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
I don't want to copy. I don't want to rip somebody off every week.
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right.
All right.
I'm doing better now that I got a burrito in my
And a
mouth.
vanilla Coke.
Down me, and my vanilla Coke.
Who was your bartender / server on your burrito and your vanilla Coke?
I don't know, some creepy guy.
Yeah, but he was pretty good looking though.
Yeah, he's really good looking.
All right. Okay. They're talking about me. Don't mind the creepy part.
The creepy part, specifically.
Anyways, if you are joining us in whatever capacity you're joining us in, we thank you and we appreciate
I
you.
just realized I was wearing my hat backwards like Fred Durst over here.
Oh, well, at least it wasn't a red, like you
Yeah, it
have a
was
red
the
hat
red cap.
phase and all that shit. Anyways, if you are joining us in whichever way you are, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching us live. Cheesy is always here, and look at him getting all broken up about it.
Squeaky voice teen from The Simpsons.
I know, right? So Cheesy's here with us in chat. You could be with us in chat too if you follow us on social media and see when we go live. And if you aren't,
you could be like Cheesy, but you're probably a fuckboy and or girl.
right. Hey, look, Nightbot is
All
here
right.
too. Nightbot's here every week. We appreciate you too. Anyways, if you aren't watching us live, that's okay. You probably found us on someshitwelike.com or whatever podcast service is the one that you desire. I don't know why I chose that wording, but anyways, we appreciate that also. And maybe you're watching the full show, which goes up on Fridays, like we tell you every week, usually at noon, no, always at noon, and then we throw up clips throughout the week. Generally Monday, Tuesday, generally Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, with 2 on Thursday. And that's what we do. And I'm probably going to say this again later, so it doesn't matter how many times I fuck it up. So I already said how you guys are doing. I asked you that.
You're killing me. Everything you're saying is making me think of something.
What?
You said desire, and I thought of haggard. It's a nice tattoo. What's that mean?
It
means desire.
It means desire.
The fuck does that mean?
So anyways, yeah.
I'm good.
You're good now.
I'm good now.
Rick's good now.
I can be funny now on camera.
Okay.
Awesome.
Funny haha or funny
Funny like
looking?
a clown?
Yeah.
I'm here to amuse you. Am I here for your enjoyment?
Exactly.
Yes.
That movie was on this week. That's why it popped into my head. Also, The Good Feathers from
Yeah, I thought I was thinking-
Animaniacs. That's the way every episode ended.
which is
Yeah.
on Hulu.
Is it on Hulu?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm tripping out right now. I've not seen you without a hat very often. And I
Yeah.
forget how you
Yeah.
shave your head.
Well,
all the
hey,
time
it
now.
can't quit because it's fired.
What?
My hair can't quit
Oh,
because it's fucking
Yeah,
fired.
yeah. No, but it hits me. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, you still have plenty of hair up there. I know it's not as much as you want.
It's
So-
not in the places
Yeah.
where it's very attractive, so you get that.
Jesus in chat saying this is weird. Mike, give him a hat.
No, now I'm just gonna leave it off all day.
So, anyways, anything cool, new, and exciting happening this week for anybody?
I mean, I've listened to the fuck out of the new Eminem album.
I listened to it about 2 or 3 times. I think.
Yeah.
And it's a lot
really-
better than the last one.
Really fucking good.
Better than the last one.
Yeah,
that's all I
it
can
is.
say.
I was talking about this with Bryce a little bit, and I know it doesn't make any sense, and it sounds all conspiracy theorist and shit, because a lot of money was spent on Revival with all the different people that were featured on it and shit like that, and it's just, it feels like he makes a bad album, so people will shit talk him, so he'll come out and be angry and make a good album. Me and Bryce were talking about it, and like I remember not being impressed with Encore, and I remember that being like the sentiment back in the day, like, I mean, it was alright, but
Encore was his
4th album.
Okay.
And then after that was that really terrible album, because they did that, then they did like the greatest hits or whatever with that really bad song Fack on it, which is terrible. Oh my god, this song is terrible. I revisited it recently. I was like, man, yeah, this song is still bad. Then did Relapse, and Relapse was awful. And then within less than a year, he turned around and did Recovery.
Yeah.
And then did Marshall Mathers LP2, which are there's like 1 or 2 songs off of Recovery that I don't like, and like maybe 1 or 2 off Marshall Mathers LP2 that I could do without. Then did Revival, and it was panned everywhere. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was good. I didn't feel like
That was the one before this one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I didn't like
There's
it at
like 3 songs where he doesn't even come in until like 30 seconds left in the song or some shit. Like, there's a song with Pink, and I like Pink. That girl can sing to me all day. I like her
all. I
voice.
did not like that song at all.
But that song is bad. And it's like 4 minutes of her singing, and then Eminem throws some bars at the end that aren't very good. And it's like, eh. It's the same thing with Skylar Grey on one song. And
I
on
don't
that album.
remember that album very well. I don't think.
But this album, again, less than a year turnaround, puts it out and starts with basically a freestyle, because there's no chorus to the first song on that album, The Ringer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just him going off for like 4.5 minutes, and it was like, whoa. If that's all he has on this album, that's still really good. But the whole album is really good, and I don't know. It just feels like manufacturing your own comebacks sometimes, whether it's subconsciously or outwardly or whatever it may be. I really, really like the album, but it could be this all the time, because after Revival came out, I showed you guys here, he did a song with Royce da 5'9" that was really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, why wasn't the last album like this?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard the new album yet, so I can't comment. But
I wouldn't
know
say
most
like
people like it.
Yeah, and as far as for me, like I've known, like I've since he came out with his
Some shady LP.
yeah. Like I've known like his, what is it, 99 or 98
Yeah, 98, and then I think 2000
to like
was Marshall Mathers.
2002
Yep.
or something like that. Like that's as far as I know of him.
Yeah.
After that, like the other album that I've heard, like other than the radio hits, the full album that I've actually heard was Recovery,
Yeah, which is a really good album.
which I love a lot. I
Yeah.
like it a lot. And then I tried listening to the last one, which was garbage. And then this one, I liked it a lot, but not as much as the other.
Yeah.
At least the ones that I've heard.
Yeah.
But it's a lot better than the last one, that's for sure.
This
'Cause
is
there's
definitely
probably like maybe 2 or 3 songs in there that I'm like I can leave it without it.
Yeah. It's definitely up here on the scale, and not necessarily. It's closer to up here than it is down here. For my audio listeners that are only listening to our podcast, I put my hand up in the air.
Yeah.
And then I put it
Forget
down.
about that sometimes.
Then I put it down low towards the
Yeah.
table. But yeah, so I really, really enjoy this album, and I just like, I don't need him to sound like this all the time. I don't need him to be angry all the time. I think Recovery was a great example of him doing something different. His cadence wasn't the same on every song. It wasn't like, his old albums. It was different, but it was still really good.
Mm-hmm.
I went back and listened to Encore because I remember liking some songs on there. And there are some really good songs on there that are different and not the norm of what he normally does. And it's like you can be different and you can evolve as an artist, but like it really felt like similar to like in 2002-ish, 2003, when everybody was putting out a political album, whether it was Green Day or Bad Religion or fucking Sum 41, or everybody put out a very politically charged album.
Yeah.
And there were some really, really fucking good ones, the 3 I just named, and then there's some really bad ones, because it felt like they were trying to cash in on, let's make a political album. And like, I'm not saying he didn't necessarily feel what he was saying on Revival, it just felt forced.
Yeah.
That was my main issue with Revival, is it just felt forced.
I barely even gave that album a listen because I didn't like what I heard.
Yeah.
So I was just like, it's whatever.
I've been talking about the dude for almost 2 years now, but there's a track with Eminem and Joyner Lucas on the new album. Joyner Lucas is the fucking future, man. That dude is so good. And like I said to you, I was like, I hope he blows up after this, because I want to be on that side that was like, I've been telling you motherfuckers for 2 years about Joyner Lucas.
Yeah.
And I'm not even the earliest adopter of that dude. Like, he's been around.
I need to listen to the album.
So that's what my weeks consisted of.
Cool.
Eminem and
Paladins. Alrighty. Well, I think we have a lot to get into.
Yeah, we do.
So why don't we just do it?
Let's jump into it.
No.
Jump right in.
Okay. Alright.
What should we start then with?
Trailers?
Trailers. We got some trailers for you.
Did you find any news stories, or was it just trailers and then the movie reviews?
I mean, I feel like there was news stories. I didn't see anything though, and I just heard we had a lot of stuff to talk about.
Let's go with the trailers and then
All
the
right.
movie review.
So first trailer is our request trailer from.
I think it's funny. This dude has.
Before you get started, I want to mention something. Wasn't Cheesy the one a few, like, maybe a month ago saying what Mike got going on under the hat. Now you know. And you want me to put the hat back on? That's rude, man. It was rude. I was there for you and everything. And you're just like, put your hat back on. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Ready? Go.
So we got a trailer again from Tim Raven.
It's like 4 weeks in a row now?
Yeah, about 4 weeks in a row. This dude's on it, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to go...
I just think it's impressive that he keeps finding something that we don't know.
Let's jump into movie mode and check this trailer out. It is called A Private War.
Oh, and it has Rosamund Pike in it.
Gentlemen, Foreign Correspondent of the Year, Marie Colvin.
Where did you get that iPad?
Treasure Island. I need a photographer. Any good?
The best. Can't stop thinking about it.
Once you go crazy, it's not something you get used to. War is not so terrible for governments, for they are not wounded or killed like ordinary people. Our mission is to speak the truth to power. You're prepared to sink your country into civil war.
What happened?
They've opened fire on journalists.
If the government catches you, they'll kill you.
I have nightmares every night.
You've seen more war than most soldiers. You have to take it seriously.
I hate being in a war zone. I also feel compelled to see it for myself.
Because you're addicted to it. If you use the sat phone, those drones will know where we are.
We don't have time!
No one in their right mind would do what you do. She needs to get the hell out of there.
We have to go back.
We will die if we go back.
I want people to know your story.
You have a God-given talent for making people stop and care.
Being alive.
I see it, so you don't have to.
If you lose your conviction, what hope do the rest of us have?
Maybe I would have liked a more normal life. Maybe I just don't know how.
There's some things I really like about that trailer, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Tell us about the things.
Okay, here's the things. One, fucking Stanley Tucci, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, I really like everybody's delivery in that because it doesn't feel like they're acting. It feels
raw.
real and raw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it almost feels like a documentary more than a movie because of the way they're delivering their lines. And at first, that kind of put me off. But then once you get into it and see, like, oh, what this movie's about, I really like that delivery because it just feels real and raw. Like, raw, like Rick said. Rick likes it raw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks to Rob out again.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
Rosamund Pike is like, she looks so different in this, in my opinion. I thought it took me a little bit to
She
realize.
does
Like, oh my god, that's her.
And,
Yeah.
And just how rugged she looks. Like she's been through shit.
Just fucking haggard, yeah. Like,
and
you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Not in a bad way.
I'm
Like,
almost she almost kind of reminded me like a Solid Snake in a way. Like
yeah.
I've been through war.
Yeah.
You know?
War never changes.
Where'd you get the patch from Treasure
But yeah, they got some really good actors here, and they also said it was from the producers of Sicario, which
The Town and
which Sicario is a if I ever pull the chat back up. The Sicario is a movie that my coworker's been telling me to watch.
Yeah, I've
You
been
gotta
hearing the
watch it.
same
You gotta
thing.
watch it, and like I've heard Ryan Connolly say the same thing too.
Yeah.
Like, when that movie came out, like that was his fucking movie of the year.
He loved the cinematography of that movie.
And like for the 5 years later, which was I think it came out this year, the sequel to that movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which a lot of people didn't know they're making a sequel to,
Yeah.
which is like weird because I didn't think a movie like that would have gotten
Right.
a sequel, but I guess it just did really good. or good enough for a sequel.
Yeah.
So.
I'm really blending in with our wall today, and it's bothering me.
That aside, though, the movie looks like really good,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna watch Sicario, and I gotta watch that apparently. And this looks just as good.
What do you think, sir?
I appreciate the content.
Yeah.
Like I like Tim Raven. Thank you for sending
Yeah,
us
for
trailers
real.
Yeah.
4 weeks in a row. Look, it's a good trailer. I don't know if it's a movie for me. I mean,
Right.
that's just never been my style of, like, I know it's not necessarily, it's a private war. It's not like a war. I don't know if I can call it a war movie, but like that just hasn't necessarily been the type of content that grabs me. But
Yeah.
it looks good. It looks interesting. It's not something that I think I'm going to go run out and go see or go out of my way to go see, but I always like watching trailers and having discussions with you guys.
That was a good
there.
pull with Metal Gear, Rick, because it definitely felt like
That's what it
a
felt
Metal
like to
Gear
me.
story,
Like-
minus the Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Like, especially
And,
4. Didn't that feel like Metal Gear 4? Like,
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit.
At least that's what I pulled from the trailer.
yeah, for sure.
From watching it, and
I've been wanting to
It
play that
looks-
again recently, by the way.
yeah, me too.
Really?
I've really been
Yeah.
wanting to play it again.
Do you have a copy still?
I don't.
I have
I
a
don't.
copy and a working PS3, so if you want to borrow it, let me know.
Yeah, I'll give you Detroit.
Okay. We have,
This
for
is
real,
the real
for real
deal
this time?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, that looks
this looks
really
good.
cool, man. I'm into that.
Yeah, it's on my radar.
I don't know if it's something I'd see in theaters or what, but it definitely piqued my interest.
Well, I'm most likely going to see it in theaters because I have a new pass.
Oh, you do?
I have, what is it called, Bryce?
Yeah, but
AMC?
Not
Oh,
AMC.
Cinemia or something.
Cinemia.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
3 movies a month.
Okay.
And,
How much is it?
The same price as
Oh, really?
$9.99, but
Okay.
like you can literally go to any theaters and you're not restricted.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to get it on it.
Yeah, and it's not bad. I mean, like it's cheaper than even a regular matinee. Or
Well,
Premium.
about the same as a matinee.
not
'cause,
matinee.
Yeah.
What's regular
Regular
theater ticket?
movie time,
so,
yeah.
Like, even if you see one movie, you're good.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah.
Cool. I'm into that. Definitely into that.
All right.
Cool. And Rick, you too?
Yeah, totally.
You ready for trailer 2?
I'm gonna watch it. All right. Next trailer is one that I found kind of like happenstance.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on YouTube and I was just like kind of looking up, well, let's see what new trailers are. And this one just showed up and like the description of it was like.
I read the description and I was like,
Did you read anything of it?
I know. I didn't
No.
know.
Okay,
Oh,
okay, good.
I read the description and let me just say before we
Did you watch the trailer?
No, I
Okay.
read the description and I was like, oh,
I want to see
fuck
this.
yeah, that's my shit. But okay.
So here we go.
Yeah, generally, like, I don't know. I don't really. Sorry. Oh, man. Look at alt approach a little bit. I apologize. Fucking causing havoc. I try not to look at this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I see it in the notes and I just didn't. Yeah, I didn't pay attention.
All right.
I'm going to piss cheesy off.
Ooh,
and
I think I pulled
not
a
wear my
hammy.
hat this whole time. I love that fucking Orion
Orion,
Pictures
yeah.
logo.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Young Anna was nestled, all snug in her bed, not knowing tomorrow she'd meet the undead. How would she survive what this season would bring? Well, that's simple. She'd stab, she'd slash, and she'd sing.
Oh no.
You watched this already? No.
Justin Bieber's a zombie.
All fucking in on that.
Right. Once I saw that tagline, Shaun of the Dead meets La La Land, I was like, what the fuck kind of combination is that?
I mean, you guys know me. I love musicals to begin with, so
Yeah. So I'm a maybe because I'm not a big musical guy. I mean, it looks cool. It looks funny. but I'd have to see.
Okay. Yeah, I think that looks really
I'm
fucking cool,
I'm the
man.
downer this week. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
I know. God,
My job.
Maybe we should get a burrito in your mouth.
I don't know.
Yeah, I like I said, I clicked the link in the notes and I saw the title of it and I was like, well, I don't want to watch it. So then I just looked it up and I saw like just like the brief synopsis, and I was like, all right, I love musicals. I love Shaun of the Dead.
Is that British? I mean, I'm assuming that was British. Yeah. No, it doesn't look bad. You know, like I guess it just depends how musical it is, and I guess how tongue in cheek it is. Like I don't know. I'm just not a musical person. Yeah. It's just that shit is just kind of cheesy to me, in my opinion. Cheesy. Sorry, no pun intended, but that's fine.
Send him on a downward spiral using his name and fame like that. God damn it.
So, yeah, I guess we kind of mentioned that on the show. I'm kind of like a self-hater of myself for liking musical or no.
You don't like musicals,
I don't like
but
music,
you watch them.
but I like musicals.
Yeah. Maybe you and I will go on a date and see this movie, Rick.
Maybe. Yeah. So like, I like La La Land up until the ending. The ending is shit. Fight me.
It was La La horrible,
Fucking
right?
fight me on that shit.
I still haven't seen that movie.
I'd watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I want to see what your opinion is on the
I'm
ending.
surprised you haven't seen that movie.
Yeah.
No, I love the leads. Like,
and you
I
like
love
I
them
know,
both.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then obviously Shaun of the Dead. Like that's just two like opposites crossed together, and like I love seeing a mashup like that when it works, and the trailer looks like it makes it work.
Yeah,
you know?
I think that's always fun when you can do that in any medium, whether it's music or video games or books or movies or whatever your favorite form of entertainment is. When you can take two genres and kind of toss them together, similar to like why Shaun of the Dead works, because it's not just a comedy. It's not just a road movie.
It's a buddy love story.
It is. It's
a buddy movie and a love story.
It's a romantic comedy. It's a horror movie. It's like all these different kinds of things all thrown together that if you saw it on paper, I wouldn't blame the studio for going, this will never fucking work. We're passing on this.
Yeah.
But it's always nice when there are, production houses around that will take chances on things like that. Because if somebody came in to me and pitched, hey, I got this idea. It's like Shaun of the Dead, but a musical. I would be all into it, but bottom line wise, I'd be like, I don't know if we can make this. So I'm glad, and I just like I said, I love seeing the fucking Orion Pictures logo in front of a movie now. I haven't seen that forever.
I don't remember the last movie I saw that on.
And it was like an old school looking logo too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all in on this movie, Rick. Let's go see it together.
Probably on purpose, because I think when La La Land came out, they did the same thing. They showed the classic. What is it, Warner Brothers? I don't remember who it was, but they showed their classic logo.
Yeah.
From like the early 1930s or whatever, 40s.
You want to roll out with us to see this movie or what?
I know.
Don't disinclude me so fast. I'm just saying I just don't know that. It's rated R too,
we need
so
a third person
we'll
to
see.
review it. I mean, maybe Cheesy could come with us.
Well, you might get 4 people.
Right.
I'm just saying I don't know that I'm sold. Yeah.
But you're also the same guy that won't turn down going to a movie.
Yeah.
So, and we know that.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, this looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the mixture of musical and zombies, because that is.
What was the name of the trailer we watched a couple weeks ago that was with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost? They're just in it.
Slaughterhouse Rules.
Slaughterhouse Rules?
Yeah.
This kind of had that kind of vibe to it also. Like,
yeah.
Very irreverent, kind of over-the-top, fun thing.
Yeah. And whether like some of the props or like items they were using almost kind of reminded me of Zombieland.
Yeah.
As well.
It's whatever you can grab kind of thing, yeah. Pretty
But
cool.
I just love that shot in the trailer where she's just dancing around and all this shit is happening. Like, I can't wait to see the musical happen.
Right.
So I don't want to see any more trailers until...
That's it, right?
Yeah.
I'm probably going to have to watch every trailer because, I don't know. For me, the musical shit is just so fucking cheesy. Sorry again. It just is. But
I think the musical musical part, if it's forced in it, it can be bad. It can be cheesy. Again, sorry. With the TV shows, I know we kind of talked about that before.
I hate that.
When they try to like jam it in, with like The Flash did one and Scrubs did one, and it felt like awkward and weird.
At least the Scrubs one wore its heart on its sleeve with that one and was like, yo, this is gonna be dumb. So
they knew.
Yeah, they were in on the joke on it.
Yeah.
Scrubs was
tongue-in-cheek.
kind of making fun of the people
It
doing
felt
those
that way,
episodes.
yeah.
I'm,
'Cause-
I'm not hating on anybody that likes musicals or is in that sort of thing at all, because that's fine. If you like that, you like that. You know, like it's just, I get just it just makes me uncomfortable. My mom fucking can sing.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever
Mom can
she,
sing?
yeah, whenever she would sing, I hated it. I'm like, I would be embarrassed and wanted her to stop. So I
Because
mean,
Bryce
it's
wasn't
me.
the center of attention anymore.
It's fucking me. No, it's absolutely not
That's what
that.
I used to say all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, oh god, I don't know.
Yeah, I hear
So
you.
was your mom like a professional opera singer, like you were a professional baseball player?
Yeah, totally.
You remember that?
Yeah, it was funny going to spring training, but yeah, like I don't know why. Like I always just got really like for as long as I can
Uncomfortable?
remember, I would get really uncomfortable when she would start singing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh god, stop. Okay, I don't know.
I get it. You're good at something.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah.
It just drove me crazy. So it's absolutely me. I'm not by any means hating on anybody that likes
I leaned back on
musicals.
that one, Rick, so hopefully didn't blow out the mic.
That's all right. So come back next week when we have our musical episode, and
Yeah.
Bryce sits there very
Then
uncomfortably.
I will be on the couch. You'll get off-screen Bryce.
Oh, man. Like I told you guys earlier this year, I mean, I saw The Greatest Showman like in January. If I would have seen that in December when it came out, that would have been my movie of the year last year. Like, I wouldn't have made a list. It would have been a list of one movie, and it would have been The Greatest Showman 5 times. That movie was amazing.
Did you end up seeing that?
Greatest Showman? No, I never got around to that.
But yeah.
Anyways, that's it for trailers.
Yeah.
Just 2.
Yeah.
So let's jump into the Nun review.
You guys want to see this?
We did.
We saw this Thursday night because Bryce couldn't wait.
Okay, cool.
He puts that on me, but he was excited and couldn't wait to see the movie too. I don't know why. It's Bryce couldn't wait.
Yeah, I was excited, but again, I wanted to sleep.
What was the movie?
Oh, because nightmares.
What was the
Gotcha.
movie where this was not teased, but where like
She appeared.
where she appeared first?
Conjuring 2.
Conjuring 2. I remember specifically when you guys were talking about Conjuring 2 after seeing Conjuring 2, he got super psyched about the prospect of them making a movie about the nun.
Mm-hmm.
So don't put that evil on Bryce, Ricky Bobby. You wanted to see this fucking movie before it was even announced that it was a movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Check the tape.
I don't know why he does this. Like you were just as excited.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I am.
Well, then make it clear. What Rick is trying to
I
say
am
is he
excited.
didn't want to have
I'm just
nightmares.
scared.
I
That's
know.
it.
Nightmares. That's all.
He didn't want
Well, he didn't
nightmares.
have to go alone at least.
That's true.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to see this alone because I would have nightmares. I would be scared to see this alone. So yeah, are we gonna do spoilers or no spoilers?
Go for it.
Spoilers.
Whatever you
I mean, we'll just say spoilers. I don't know if there's a whole lot to spoil though.
That's true.
I mean, like we'll just see how it goes.
There may or may
thanks
not
for
be
hosting,
spoilers.
Cheesy. Yeah.
I feel like doing what
All right,
Bryce does,
so
I don't disturb you guys.
The movie is technically a prequel. Is this supposed to, like, in the timeline?
I mean, yeah,
this is the first
It's probably the earliest of any of
earliest
the movies, right?
movies, I think, even before Annabelle, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'd have to
Ooh,
probably.
actually, no, it would have to be in between Annabelle 1 or
Why?
Origins or whatever.
I don't
it
know.
was.
I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
Did she show up in Annabelle Creation too? When she got pushed in the wheelchair?
Oh, people think that was probably.
People thought that was
her.
that was the nun.
So then this is the first. Then
Yeah.
this is probably the earliest in the timeline.
Okay. Anyways,
You can let us know if we're wrong. So yeah,
overall, like, this movie is fucking.
Kindoffunny.com/you're wrong.
yeah. Let them know. They'll be like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. Cheesy, real quick, we're gonna do this, but like, what's with the hate? Like, are you just not a horror person, or like, do you just I don't know? But anyways, go ahead.
So yeah, the movie, if you haven't seen the trailers or anything, is basically a priest. I don't want to read the title. You read it.
What?
You read the description.
Oh, I mean, do we really? Okay, fine.
Let's just get into it.
I mean, let's just
What's your
review
thoughts
the
on
movie.
What's your thought of the movie then?
I liked the movie. I enjoyed the movie. It wasn't what I was expecting. I mean, I already talked about that with you. I don't know what I was expecting though. This movie definitely is not like the other
others.
movies. Like
Yeah.
the other movies are a little bit more grounded, I guess, if that makes sense. And not to say that this one isn't, because of course when you start getting into the world of like possession and like demons and stuff, people are gonna see that like, oh well, that this is a little weird. You know what I mean? I guess you can make the argument with anything like that's a ghost or a haunting, that could be kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I told Rick, there's actually some parts of this, not in terms of comedy, but there's some parts of this movie where it's almost Evil Dead-ish, I guess. Like it's just like, whoa, like this is just way more out there, way more like, you know what I mean? Like they really showed like almost monstery, I guess. Then if that's
Think of
not
like
even a fucking word,
like almost like a story arc of Angel. You know, I wouldn't say Buffy because Buffy's more lighthearted. Angel's a little bit more darker.
Right. Angel's definitely way more emo.
Yeah. I wouldn't say emo though. I'm saying more like
I got you.
demonic. You know, and more has to do with the Catholic religion and their beliefs and.
See, that aspect has me super interested.
The whole religious part, then
yeah.
you would like this movie.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of that. Like, how do you say her name?
Thaisa Farmiga.
Yeah, she's basically plays.
Damn, right, she sounds sexy when you say that.
She plays Sister Irene, which is she's a nun, but she still hasn't taken her vows yet.
Right.
Throughout the whole movie, she and one of the priests go to this abbey to find out why one of the nuns of this abbey killed herself.
Okay.
So they're investigating that, and while they're investigating that, that's where they start, you know, and seeing the true evil, you know, that's going on in their abbey / castle.
And just to make it clear, like that's not the movie for us. We see why she killed herself. So it's not like the movie's like, oh, why did this happen? Like we see, like we find out right away.
But the fun is following the characters.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make it clear that
discovering.
that's not like the mystery of the movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, the thing that I'm saying, like it's not a complaint. Like I do feel like this movie could have been done in a more grounded way, like the other movies. I absolutely think it could have been done that way because I don't know how to explain it. Like you haven't seen The Exorcist, but like The Exorcist, while yes, that
way over the top.
It's over the top, but if you ever read about possession, like what happens in that movie is kind of what, if that is real, and there are historical accounts, whether you believe them or not, like that's happening. If you read about that, kind of what you see in the movie is what happens, you know? And I feel like this took elements of that, but sort of flipped it on its head and made it a little over the top. You know what I mean? So I do feel like they could have done this in a way to where, like
I feel like they got more deep into the mythology. I don't even know if that's the right word to say for Catholicism. You know.
Oh, it's the right word.
Okay. I just think there's probably like a bigger word that you can use that kind of like wraps it into one. But
Gotcha.
yeah, but for the most part, like they dive deep into the whole thing about being Catholic and the history of it. You know.
Yeah.
Back to even like Jesus Christ days, and like it's almost like a history movie to like how
National Treasure and shit.
I want to say go that far, but
you know,
almost
what I mean, like something that's something that feels.
You learn a lot in this
that
movie.
You
learned a lot in this movie, especially about this specific demon. You know, Valak.
Right. I'm trying to figure out how to put it, like what I'm trying to say into words. I mean, obviously this is well, I guess both Annabelle movies. I guess both. No, wait. Are both Annabelle movies not just is Creation the first movie that went off away from the Warren stuff, or is technically the first Annabelle movie not a part of that either?
Annabelle Creation was made up, right?
It was the original story.
Yeah.
But I think Annabelle,
but the Annabelle
is still,
story is still
and I think that movie is still the actual.
That's still the actual movie.
So this is the second of the movies that's kind of like, oh well, we're branching off. This has nothing to do with the Warren investigations. It's just something that came.
It's part of it. It's like a side story.
Right. But I mean, it's not.
It's fan fiction. Basically,
sure.
it's fan fiction.
Well, whereas the Conjuring movies and the first Annabelle are actual from legitimate,
based on their cases,
right? Legitimate cases. This is like something that was birthed from it. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out, like, I feel like
Good
the movie...
use of the word.
Yeah, I feel like this movie... Thank you. I feel like this movie walks this line. I don't know how to put it. Like, I think it still stays true to, like, what the Conjuring... Like, you leave Conjuring and Conjuring 2 and...
Right.
And then even both Annabelle movies and feel like, like, you know, if ghosts are real, if this stuff is legitimate, everything I just saw in that movie, I feel like could happen. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if there are hauntings, I feel like it would and could happen. And I feel like this movie follows that same path, but then I also think it combines some stuff to where it's almost like, you know, you're seeing like a monster movie.
It's
at
merging
the same
onto the freeway.
time. So you know what I mean? You know how there's movies that are like hauntings, and then there's movies where it's just like there's Jason.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Myers, like, which is like, okay, I get that those are killers, but you know what I mean? Like a monster movie that's like it's clearly fake.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this movie rides this line where it's like it's based in reality, but I feel like some of the imagery went sort of monster movie.
Do you feel like that?
Yes, exactly what he just said.
Do you feel like that might be a specific decision to separate the quote side stories from the Warren investigation based movies?
I'd say yes and no, because they actually tie all the movies together.
They do tie the
By the
movies
time this
together.
movie's over, they show something that tied it to the first Conjuring.
That's cool.
So I'd say yes and no.
All right. Yeah, I was like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, you're saying this is the second one that kind of diverges from their cases,
Right?
So maybe they're going a little bit more over the top, so it doesn't.
And it could have been that, you know. And then, like, what little I have heard, I actually read something because I got really interested. They're also there's another movie. Like, again, this is totally like this is the horror Marvel DC. You know, like they've created this thing. It's amazing. But like another character that shows up in The Conjuring 2 is the Crooked Man, and they're making a movie based on that character.
Like an origin story kind of thing.
I think it is probably something of that, then, which is kind of what this is. This is sort of like what that is too. An Anabelle creation was that.
That's cool.
I think it's fucking awesome. And so what I've read, and again, this is just talk, but James Wan said something that, like, you know, they wanted things to be different. Like, they wanted The Nun to not feel like, I forget what words they used for that, but they wanted that to be a little bit different. And then with the Crooked Man, they want that, they're thinking of having it be like, with Annabelle, it's kind of like it's this doll, like not Chucky-esque, but it's like it's more about this doll that is
the actual
terrorizing you, or whatever, the Annabelle doll that's like terrorizing you and all this other stuff. And then with the Crooked Man, they're thinking like, you know, maybe that movie will have more of like this fairy tale-esque aspect of horror to it, and that's kind of where his head is at with that. And then even to The Conjuring 3, they said there's a script right now, it's being worked on right now, and it's very different from the first two Conjurings, because we've already done the haunted house thing. It's like we can't do another haunted house, and so The Conjuring 3 isn't gonna be that. And so I appreciate that. So I think this movie was different, not bad. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just different. So I liked it. I did enjoy it. I can't say it went the way that I thought they would maybe go with this character, you know, with the Nun, because when I've seen the Nun before, and even in this movie again, it's the imagery that went a little monster movie-ish. It's not necessarily the Nun itself.
Right.
But whenever I've seen the Nun prior, it's been in very like realistic, like, oh fuck. Like, I mean, if I woke up and saw that in the middle of the night, like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a terrifying ghost or whatever you want to call it. Image. But yeah, just different. Like, Rick, you say some stuff now, because I feel like I'm repeating the same thing. But I enjoyed it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just going to pretty much say the same thing he is saying. It's like pacing-wise, as far as like the structure of the story and the way it moved, it moved well, in my opinion. Like, I wasn't bored. Like, I didn't even, like, I lost track of time watching it, which is always good when you're watching a movie. The actors are fucking awesome in this. Everyone in this movie was good. Creepy as hell. Like, the suspense of this movie, build up, was done amazingly well. Amazingly well. Like, just to get up to the scare, you know, even thinking you know what's going to happen, but it doesn't happen, you know, and that's sometimes even the worst part, because you're expecting something that doesn't even happen, and then, okay, we're moving on to the next scene. Some people might not like that. I love that, because we see that shit all the time in regular horror movies where like boom they're scared.
Jump
you know,
scared,
boom.
jump scared,
Not
jump
necessarily
scared.
jump scared, but even just like
yeah.
the camera pans and then you see them right
Yeah.
there. You know, there is
anticipation can fucking destroy
that's
you
the
mentally.
perfect word. That's what I'm trying to get to. That the anticipation to the scares.
Yeah.
Get hit right when they're you don't expect it.
Cool.
At least for me, I felt that way.
Yeah.
And
Well, no, I mean,
you
yeah.
felt that way too. I'm
Well, like,
assuming,
they're-
too.
they're-
because
well,
like I was like this the entire time.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. There's a lot.
know?
There's a lot of parts in the movie where like you see something. When you see something in. I have to stop. Sorry for anyone listening on audio. In the live chat, we have Cheesy, who's a regular of this show right now, and someone just comes in that Cheesy brought in here, and his name is Spicy Pepino, which isn't that like kind of like what is Pepino? Isn't that a cheese? I don't know. It's making me. I just think it's funny. There's Cheesy and then Spicy Pepino. Like that cracks me up.
Cucumber, I believe, right?
Oh, I don't know. Anyways, whatever. You can let us know what your name means. But yeah, there's a lot of parts in this movie too where like you might see something in the background and they don't make a fuss of it. But you see it. And there's no dramatic music, there's no whatever. Like there's a scene happening and then you see something over somebody's shoulder.
And it's not.
And they don't make anything. It doesn't
make that
they don't
noise
make anything of it.
that normal horror movies make.
The setting of this movie, the imagery of this movie is creepy as fuck. Like it really is. Like it's in this. It's an abbey, but it looks like this fucking creepy ass castle.
Like graveyard abbey. Too.
It looks like something like it's set in Romania, like in 1954 or whatever. Like it has all the, it has all the parts, man. Like, and when this movie was over, and I think this is a good thing. It wasn't that I wasn't satisfied, but I'm not done with this. Like I don't know what it is. I'm like the look of this nun is so creepy, and I think they could do so much. Mm-hmm. With it, and, you know, maybe in a way where they stick to it just being more grounded and not so like there's some stuff. Because there's some parts like where a snake is coming out of some dude's mouth or whatever. Like that's where I said it teetered.
Yeah, that's the stuff that you're not a fan of. Bleeding walls and fucking all that shit. Yeah.
So like you said, you hated it. What?
The disgustingness.
Oh, it was gross.
It was disgusting.
But there's a lot of concepts in this that were cool. Like I mean, maybe this is a thing. I don't know much about my history, and it might be a history. Okay. Yeah, so we have cucumbers and cheese in the chat. But anyways, they go to like there's like kind of like a cemetery of people who have been at the abbey, who have died or whatever, and they're there, and there's like this thing or this concept. They told the story. I'm gonna fuck it up, but basically they have these bells that are by these gravestones that are by the headstones or whatever. And
I knew right away what it was when I saw it. Huh? I knew right away what it was when I saw it. I've read about those.
So that's a real thing?
Yeah, it's a total real
thing.
Okay,
so we'll talk about it.
Back in like the early like Oregon Trail days, I would say, when they buried people, sometimes they wouldn't know if the person was dead or not. So what they did is when they buried them, they put a string with the bell on top of the stone. So you know about that.
Yeah.
And just in case if they're still alive, they're able to ring the bell and oh shit,
and
not dead.
And it's just like in a horror movie like this, I'm like that's such a fucking cool
that was
thing
a perfect
to introduce.
use for it.
Just the idea.
I forgot about that. That's right.
I don't know. Like there's just this. Didn't you just love the set, like the look of the abbey itself, like set in Romania? Like it's so.
I don't know where
creepy.
they shot this movie, but like
I think
the set director or the location scout, like.
Yeah.
They did a fantastic job.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure it was on location somewhere. I'd have to look it up though.
I'm sure. Yeah. Cyberwee. Thanks for the follow.
Thank you for the follow. We appreciate that. Appreciate you.
Talking about the nun here. Yeah, I love that bell touch. I totally forgot about that. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Which obviously, going into it, plays out later in the movie too.
Of course. You don't show something like that and
yeah,
use it.
Right. You don't introduce it.
And there were some things too that happened, which I'm like, all right, I know where this is gonna go. This is gonna happen here. You know, this and this is gonna happen, and that's what's gonna happen. We get to that part where I'm waiting for it to happen. Technically, it doesn't happen.
Right.
You know, but at the same time, like I was surprised.
Okay.
You know, it was.
You have to tell me what.
I would have to tell you what it is. It's spoiler territory, but I liked the way they handled that a lot.
Yeah. There's a lot of like I guess this will be kind of a spoiler, but it's not like a huge thing. But I just like.
Yeah. Spicy Pepino.
Thank you so much, Spicy Pepino, for supporting us. We appreciate that. But yeah,
40 now.
Like I like simplicity in horror movies. And so to me, like, I thought this was really cool, like kind of close to the beginning. So like we see this nun hang herself, and she gets found by this other guy that's like a main character in the movie too. He finds her, and he takes her body. We find this out later. Frenchie. He takes her body and ends up putting her in, I guess it was kind of like a refrigerator or freeze, like
yeah, it was like a
room.
refrigerator, like
he did like
underground refrigerator.
He's like, I did this, you know, thinking like this would help preserve the body or something
Right.
or whatever. And so Thaisa Farmiga, her character, and Sister Irene and Father Burke.
Say it again.
What? Oh. Sister Irene and Father Burke, they come up. They're. I'm losing track. You fucked me up, anyways. And plus, Lewis Crabbe came in and thought this movie was trash, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But anyways, they go to the Abbey. Frenchie takes them there, and he takes them into this like, you know, freezer or whatever, wherever they were. That's kind of underground because he put the body in there. And they walk down there, and you see the body, and we see the body, and the body's sitting kind of like on this bench, and it's sitting up, but it's like limp like this, and you see him kind of creeped out, and he says, he's like, I have to warn you, like, it's like, you know, he's scared, you know, and so like that everyone, I think they're asking like other questions, I don't remember, is like, oh, well, I have to tell you something before you go further. That's not how I left her. And I just think like something so simple like that, I think is awesome, because it's just like, well, I didn't see anything happen. I didn't see anybody move, but the idea or the thought of like putting somebody in a room and you laid them down or whatever, and you come back and they're sitting up and they're not moving. We just see them sitting like that. I just like, I love shit like that. Yeah. I love shit like that.
When the director can use your imagination to come up with something more fucked up, that's the best part.
Yeah.
But yeah, that part definitely creeped me out too.
Isn't that? Yeah. I like that simple stuff, man.
Yeah.
So that's what I appreciate. Louis Crabbe, I'm sorry, I don't know if it's Louis or Lewis, you could tell me. He said he's the one that just popped in our chat for anyone listening on audio. It said the movie was trash, but he followed up with that and said, had some good moments, some well-composed shots, but with the demon was being too humanized for my liking, like it was basically having a chat with them towards the end. I think we as the audience should have learned to, okay, blah, blah, blah.
Which is fair criticism.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's totally fine. Did you, when they go into the Abbey the first time, and there is like a nun sitting in the chair, did you, for some reason, and maybe it just is, but I didn't take that as being Valak.
I didn't either.
Okay. Yeah. Because that was gonna bother me. I'm like, I don't want her to have a voice. You know what I mean? So if I find out later that is supposed to be Valak, that might disappoint me like a little bit. You know, like there's this nun that you don't ever see her face, that they're talking to them and making, you know, like saying, oh yeah, you know, they're like, we want to talk to the other nuns here. It's like, oh, well, you can't talk to them right now, but you can go sleep, blah, blah, blah. And it's very creepy. You don't ever see their face, and the voice is kind of creepy. Louis Crabbe says the old... Yeah, Louis. Okay, I had it right. The old sister. I mean, is that... Yeah, the old one. And the being in the chair. Like, did you interpret that as being, like, Valak? Or no? Like, you know... I'm pretty sure it was next and everything. All we're supposed to be... Okay, but I mean...
I think he just...
But it could have been, like, reanimating.
Yeah,
okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I was happy that at some point we didn't see that actual Valak, like, standing there and talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That part is good. Yeah. So overall, man, like I said, I'm not disappointed at all. The movie isn't what I thought it was going to be, because like I said, it did like have some moments that were a little like cartoony, I guess, which is something different for this franchise, but I still fucking loved it. Cool. I still thought it was really good. And I don't know, like I know Alexis likes horror stuff. I do not know, like you guys, she should watch the Conjuring movies. I think she would like them a lot. But overall, you too, same thing.
Overall, yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. Yeah. And I love the tie-in at the end.
Yeah, the tie-in at the end I thought was really cool. You know, like it wasn't even something they had to do. You know, but they actually did it pretty seamlessly.
It seems like they're going out of their way to do that stuff that they don't have to do with this
franchise,
I guess you could call it. You know,
it's more natural.
Yeah.
the way that like they came up with the Nun and Anabelle, like it like naturally came about. But I think secretly they had an idea.
Yeah, it feels organic even if it is manufactured.
There you go. Yeah.
With Annabelle, it made a lot of sense. I'm not saying this one it didn't, but I was not expecting any sort of tie-in
with that, yeah.
With the other movies with this, other than the fact that I know this character has appeared in the later movies.
Right.
I just thought this was gonna be like, oh well, you've seen this Nun, here's her background, and here's the story.
Yeah. So overall, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
cool.
I enjoyed it a lot. So, anyways, that's a review. I'm sorry that you didn't, Louis Crab, that you didn't appreciate the movie, I guess as much as we did. But I love this universe, or I love like these movies. So I'm really excited for the next Conjuring.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the Crooked Man. And actually, I think the next one on the docket is the next Annabelle movie.
So there's gonna be another one?
Yeah, we already talked about that.
You did?
Yeah. Remember?
Don't remember.
The premise of the movie is apparently it's going to pick up where it kind of leaves off when, what is that? The first Conjuring, when they put the doll in the room that's actually in the Warrens' house of all the artifacts that have been possessed.
Yeah. Okay.
The movie's going to have to do with, I guess, the doll terrorizing their daughter.
Their daughter. That's right. You're right. Yeah.
So I think that actually comes out next summer. That's the one that has a date. I haven't seen Searching either. So.
I have seen Searching.
Okay.
Tell
us about it.
Quick review?
Go for it.
Sure. Yeah, I saw Searching last week, I think it was. And I liked it. I want to say I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was good. But at the same time, it was like a one-off type of movie that like, oh, I'm glad I saw it, but I'm probably not going to see it again.
Right.
You know? I enjoyed what they did with it all being on the computer. The way they start the movie is incredible. They started with the Windows XP machine, so it's kind of cool to see the XP operating system again. But it does basically a good like intro in the style of Up.
Thank you for the follow. The homie Dueños93 Cheesy sent you too. We appreciate
cool,
that.
thanks.
Nice,
And
man.
Louis Crab,
Thank you.
they are making a Crooked Man, so I'm excited for that.
So yeah, I liked how they introed the movie because they did a really good way, kind of like in Up, how they showed a lot in a small amount.
Yeah.
I'm not saying exactly like Up. I'm just saying the
Right,
way
right,
they
right.
showed
The
like,
idea of-
you see the progress from the little girl growing up,
Uh-huh.
till when she becomes a teenager in high school, and they do it through like the operating system. You see them using Windows XP.
Yeah.
For a good while, then it
Here's the
jumps to,
passage
like,
of time, and here's how we're gonna show it.
an old
Yeah.
version, the next version of the operating system. Then they jump to Mac, and then you see it progress. You see the old style YouTube website. It's I love the way it started like that, but the creative way of how they tell the story was done really well.
Okay.
I don't know if
Alien0611, thanks for the follow.
Yeah.
And Cheesy sent all these people here. The Cheese Block Army is live. That is the best fucking name. The Cheese Block. I love it.
That's great.
I love it.
So yeah.
You don't even need army. You're the Cheese Block, and you're cutting off pieces of cheese and giving them. They're following us. Oh fuck it! I'm gonna shut up.
The storytelling was very well done.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the storytelling and how it worked out.
I have no
and
idea
all the different social medias they use.
What
in this.
Searching is, by the way.
I didn't either until
Go
I
watch
saw
it. I'll be
Okay.
interested to see what you think about it. But just go watch it. It has John Choi, or is that how you say his last name? Choi, from Harold and Kumar.
Chow? Is it Chow?
Chow.
I don't know.
Choi.
I don't know.
But anyways, he did a really good job, and Deborah Messing, I believe that's her name.
Really?
Did a fantastic job too. Yeah, I recommend seeing it, especially if you're a parent, which
I think
is
it's
kind
probably
of
just John
fucked up to say
Cho.
too
Cho.
because the
See you,
whole,
Cho.
okay. But it does. I just love the way they told the story within the computer screen.
Nice.
So yeah.
I rented a movie through Redbox
Alright.
over this week, and it's a movie that I've heard a lot of good things about. It's another documentary, so it's the second documentary 2 weeks in a row. It's Won't You Be My Neighbor, the
Yes.
Mr. Rogers documentary. Rick, have you seen it?
Yeah,
Yes.
I have.
He's
I
not only
reviewed
seen it, he
it.
actually reviewed
Did
it.
you?
I reviewed it on the
Oh,
show.
I'm gonna
okay.
let you guys chat.
Yeah. I
God,
guess I wasn't here when he did it.
Follow our podcast even when you're not on the show. Jesus,
Sorry.
Mike.
I fucking loved it, man. It was so good. You learn a lot about Fred Rogers the man.
Yeah, you do.
Light on spoilers for me though, because I do want to watch it.
Okay.
You know, like I don't want to know who kills them in the end.
Okay. Yeah, we won't tell you. We won't tell you.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like probably you guys, I grew up watching the 80s run of Mr. Rogers. I didn't get to see this much of the 60s and 70s stuff because by the time I was watching TV, it was all the reruns of the 80s stuff.
I had no idea how long that show went on for.
Yeah.
Like into the early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Or something.
Well, I think
he was off for a while and then came back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really, really liked it. It gave you a lot of insight, and they talk about all the rumors about Mr. Rogers, like
in an Army vet,
Navy SEAL, and tattoos all over, and so they talk about that funny stuff and
his porn background.
Yeah, they bring up a bunch of crazy shit, and they talk about why they feel like people made up those stories about him, which is a really cool. Like I didn't really think about it that way until they talk about it in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool. I had no idea he was going to school to be a minister.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that they tell you that like right out of the gate, is that he's off, and instead of going back to school, he wants to create a television show for children because he saw that there was nothing.
There's nothing kid friendly.
Nothing redeeming on television for children.
That's what we're trying to develop with this podcast. We're trying to be the kids' show of the modern era. You know.
But like I said, since Bryce said he wants to see it, I don't want to talk too much about like the stories they get into, but the story with the kid is insane. The one with the guy who played Officer Clarence.
Yeah.
Or Clemens. It was really crazy. Just really, really cool stuff, man. You get an insight.
He didn't sugarcoat anything, and he did it in a way that was children friendly,
right?
People friendly.
Yeah.
You know.
Like straight talk. Like this is not gonna be. We're not gonna use funny little metaphors. We're gonna talk about death on this episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna get it out there. You know, like pizza. Nice. Who's that?
Louis Crab.
Oh, cool. Thanks a lot, man. But yeah, I just
the assassination. He talked about that on the show.
Yeah.
You know, try to explain to kids. You know
what happened.
What happened. You know. It's crazy, like, he didn't shy away.
Yeah.
And that's really respectable.
My favorite thing about, like, seeing all those things where they talked about him back-to-back like that was, like, the best part about that show is not once did he ever try and tell you why something happened. Which can be... You can totally editorialize that. And, like, in my opinion, this is why this happened. But instead of that, it was, this happened. And this is how it happened and where it happened. And we don't know why it happened, but it did.
Yeah.
And it was definitely like not trying to sway you one way or the other. It was trying to get information out there in a digestible format
to
for
make
children.
them understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one about fucking your pets dying. An episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Wow.
And it's just, and again, it's just like, they don't use funny little metaphors. It's just like, my dog died. What happened? Like, it was just really weird to see something that straightforward because there's not a lot of that anymore.
And one of the parts of the documentary that I really liked too was, he did quit. I think it was like in '99 or something like that. It said, or 2000.
Yeah.
And then he came back specifically for the kids when 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't remember that happening.
Right.
Obviously, because I was older, but at the same time, like, to be honest, I'd watch reruns of it. So.
That'd been something nice to see when I was fucking 18 years old. You know, like.
Yeah. So I never saw that. I've been meaning actually to look that up just because I want to see what he had to say. But I thought that was like right away he knew like I need to talk to the kids.
Yeah.
When that happened, like I gotta talk to him. So. Yeah, it was a good doc.
Talked to his wife and his kids and all the people that worked on his production team, and how family oriented that show was, as far as like behind the scenes and with everybody on it and all that. Just it's like get a box of tissues.
Yeah.
Not for that, Bryce. I see the look on your face.
I didn't.
And
what?
and you're gonna have some tears, man. You're gonna be sad here and there, and it's a fantastic documentary.
I think it's nice to hear. I mean, I know you guys aren't telling me everything, so
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's nice to know that it seems like that guy legitimately just was a good dude. And this isn't a thing like, oh, well, off the show, he was a fucking prick, and he was an alcoholic, and blah, blah,
He
blah.
was who he was,
Yeah.
man.
I
Even
mean,
on and
you're
off
an alcoholic,
camera.
then
That's
whatever.
one of the things they tackle on this documentary is,
Yeah, like,
can somebody really be that like that? Like
Yeah.
that's like the whole crux of the documentary. It's really good, man.
I mean, those people are few and far between.
Yep.
yeah, and he was definitely one of them.
Dig it a lot. I liked it a lot. And yeah, that's 2 documentaries I've seen this year that kind of blew me away. And I generally don't see... I love watching documentaries, but I don't generally see a lot of documentaries as they come out like this.
Yeah.
I usually see them years later or years down the road. Yeah, man, this and Minding the Gap are like on the same level as something like Murderball that are just amazing stories that are being told. Let's video game it up. Have you guys been playing anything this week at all?
No.
I haven't. I beat the Unavowed.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that. Yeah, how
Yeah.
did that shake out? You like that? Is that good?
Yeah, it was good. The ending, I think, is a little abrupt.
Uh-huh.
That's so funny, like, for me at least, and maybe just how I played it, but I mean, I actually kind of felt that way in God of War too, like, because I didn't know the game was ending. I guess I
Right.
should have known. And
Right.
then same thing with the Unavowed. I could tell the way things were setting up. I'm like, oh, I guess we're reaching the conclusion, but
And then it was there.
Then it ended, and then there was different ways to end it. So that was cool. I did buy Book of Unwritten Tales too.
Yes.
I guess I started the game and sort of played the intro, but I haven't really played it yet.
Okay.
I just for some reason have not been playing games. Not because I don't want to. I just
Yeah.
haven't been playing games.
Nothing.
I was gonna pick up Spider-Man, but I never got around to it because like we went to Babylon, Hollywood Babylon,
Babylon.
Babylon, and then
Silent
we saw the
Babylon.
9. So, but I'm probably gonna pick it up today.
Okay.
So I'll probably have some kind of review next week for Spider-Man.
Cool. Some kind of impression, just something at least.
Something, yeah, because
Okay.
I want to play that game so badly.
So spoilers. I've been playing Paladins.
Really?
Yeah, I bought another champion, so I have one champion in every class now.
Cool.
And yeah, my main is up over level 20. I think she's my healer. Then my tank is 17 or 18. My damage dealer is up about 15, and I just got a flank character a couple days ago, so I've been using her a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't believe I found a character in every class that I
pretty awesome.
really enjoy playing.
It's funny, man. Between you, well, you haven't done this to me lately, but I know you've been posting them. But between you and Francis, I get he sends me
Paladins
clips. He
and
sends me clips of Overwatch,
Yeah.
like of his best,
Yeah,
of
plays
player
of the game.
plays of the game,
Yeah.
and then you send those to me occasionally, and it just cracks me up.
Yeah. I'm really, I've said it repeatedly. I really dig that game, man, and it's just one of those games that has kind of stuck its hooks in me, and I can't seem to remove them.
I mean,
That's crazy.
If you're enjoying it,
Yeah.
like, who cares? Just keep.
It's funny
Stay on the ride.
when I talked about Overwatch, I talked about how a multiplayer shooter hasn't really put its hooks into me since, Battlefield Modern Combat for the original Xbox, and Xbox then, and they re-released it on Xbox 360. And I fully did not expect 2 years later to be sitting here telling you another one of these games that's, again, like I've said before, I know it's Overwatch Lite, but man, is it fun. Because like I said before, and I'll say it again, I didn't like a character in every class in Overwatch. I hated playing as a tank. I hated the support characters. All I played was like a damage dealer, essentially, with Soldier 76. It's the only character I liked. And so immediately when I started playing this game, I started looking for a character like that. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to find the character I like. So I actually spent time in the training mode and in their shooting range playing with every character. Because you can play with every character in the shooting range like to practice with.
Yeah.
But, you have to buy them to unlock them, or you have to wait until they're unlocked weekly. They unlock 2 extras a week. There's 5 to choose from, and then there's 2 a week that are unlocked for you to pick from.
Okay.
So I was like, well, I could just wait, or I could go into training mode. And I spent the first night of me playing that game for about 3 or 4 hours playing with every character in the shooting range, trying to find the feel I liked. And the one that struck me the most was the healer, which is weird because I don't play support class ever in anything. And,
Although, like, didn't you have? Well, your guy had in Borderlands. Didn't he have like healing properties?
Well, I mean, his turret shield put off.
That's right.
Thing. So I was like, and same with in Overwatch, Soldier 76 has a med kit that you can throw out, but it doesn't last for very long.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like indirect healing. You throw it out, and you can and your team can come stand in it and get healed. But the character I'm playing, her main weapon, I guess, is you heal. You send out healing to people, and I generally don't do that because I generally want to focus on the task, whether it's a team deathmatch game or a siege game or an onslaught game. I want to focus on the task, so I'm usually tunnel vision and not paying attention. But playing as this character has forced me to pay attention to my team and shooting at people and healing and using your special attacks and stuff like that. So I've kind of gotten almost unconscious about it to where I don't realize what I'm doing, and then I'm like, holy shit, I'm cooking right now.
Yeah.
And then like I find myself just like in Overwatch, I'll do something like if that's not play of the game, man, fuck this game. And then sure enough, it'll be something else where like that had no bearing on the end of the match, had no bearing on the choke point, had no bearing on anything, but it's like somebody got 2 kills. And I'm like, I just had a quad kill and healed all my guys at the same time and stopped them from getting the payload to the checkpoint. How was that not play of the game?
That's why Overwatch is Paladin's Light, dude.
And then it makes but see, instead of like getting upset, like I get upset and it makes me go, you know what? Well, fucking fine. I'm getting play of the game next game, and it makes me want to go and do better.
Why do you think, like, you kind of told me a little bit, but I mean, if I remember right, you just were going through the store and it was free to play. Like, what do you think made you play Paladins, and then what do you think made you keep playing Paladins? Because it isn't really like something like Overwatch really was like, that was like, that was the outlier.
Yeah. So I had no idea it was Overwatch Lite. I just saw.
Now, why do you call it that?
Because it's
because I haven't played Overwatch either.
It's a team-based multiplayer shooter, and like the modes are identical. There's like in Overwatch they have a mode that is essentially there's a common area, and you have to go and you have to stay in that area longer than the other team, and it builds up a bar and you win. That's how you win. So it's not necessarily killing that's the win. It's capturing the point.
Gotcha.
And there's an exact mode in Paladins called Onslaught. That's the same thing.
Okay.
And then there's a mode in Paladins called Siege, which is very similar to a mode in Overwatch where you rush to a point and you have to take the point, and then a payload rises up and you have to escort the payload to the other team's base.
Okay.
And that's the exact same thing that's in here. So
is it? But when you say light, to me that makes it sound like it's lacking something. Is it more just that it's a copy?
It kind of, I guess, but it's. I've read stuff from the developers, and they're like, if we've copied anything, we've copied Team Fortress. So back off with the Overwatch talk, which is pretty funny, because I played a little bit of Team Fortress back in the day too, and it definitely has more of that kind of feel to it. But it's mechanically, it's like you have your primary, you have your secondary, you have a special attack, you have another special attack, and you have your ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
And you build up the ultimate by, scoring points or doing whatever, and that little bar builds up and it fills up, and you use it. And like usually that's what are the clips, like that one clip I showed you where it was the tank and more guns pop out.
Yeah,
that's his ultimate. So you have to build that up. That's not something that's the better you are at the game, the faster that will build up. But that's not like at your there's no guarantee you're gonna get to blast that off in every game that you play in every round. So it's a similar structure than to Overwatch, and the fact that the characters you're picking, the champions, are they're almost essentially 1-for-1 characters that are in Overwatch. There's like the tank I use is the same as basically the tank that Fran uses, with the difference being the one Fran uses in Overwatch, D.Va can shoot her mech out and it blows up.
That's what it's doing.
What my character does is the big guns come out and you can shoot.
I saw the clip with
yeah.
the big guns. Like,
Yeah. So
I was on a team, real quick, I just want to say, I was on a team when I was playing the ones where you were mentioned earlier about putting it into taking the orb or whatever and putting it into your enemies.
Oh, that's different. That's new. That's called Dragon's Call, and that's actually pretty cool. Also, I haven't played much of that.
I played that one, and my team got it backwards.
Oh shit!
We lost that one because they couldn't figure it out.
So there's a ball that spawns in the center of the map, and there's a goal on each side of the map, and you have to take it to the other.
I don't know if that's a question, but Louis asked if it's a hero shoot. If this is a
hero shooter
as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's another reason. It's basically a hero shooter, which is what Overwatch is.
Okay.
But yeah, Overwatch isn't free. But I paid for it, and I played about 100 hours of that game, but I'm slowly creeping up on that already in Paladins because I've just been playing way more of it. And number 2, like I said before, I found a character in all the 4 classes that I like, which I couldn't do in Overwatch no matter how much time I spent on the shooting range. I just couldn't find characters that I enjoyed playing as. I liked the design, I liked the personalities, I liked the backstories that they created for the characters. But playing them, I just did not like, except for the 1 or 2 that I played as.
Yeah, I gotta play some of the other ones. Everyone played the Felicia Day character.
Yeah. Can I change the subject hard right now?
Okay.
Real quick, we can go back to it, but I'm tripping out. Why does it appear that you have 2 phones?
Oh, it's my wallet case. I didn't feel like putting my phone in my wallet.
Okay, I'm sitting here. I'm just like, you were talking to me. I'm listening. I'm like, I was like, what happened to Mike's wallet case? And then I think about it. I'm like, oh wait, it's over there. And I'm like, why the fuck are there 2 phones? Because I still because of the protector. And it looks like there's a phone in it still.
So,
all right.
Yeah,
I was like, is Mike about to be like, I got a new phone?
I went to the gym and so this is the case I use for the gym. So I put this on, and then I've just been too lazy to put the wallet case back on, and I've just been throwing it in my other pocket.
Man, you were like, I was fucking with me. It's like I'm like, okay, Paladin's over right here. I'm like, I want to ask this question.
So to finish answering your question,
yes.
I wanted to play it originally because I saw some of the art and I thought it looked cool, but I really didn't know it was a hero shooter. I just thought it was a first-person shooter. I thought it was like a Call of Duty or something like that, the online version of that stuff. But originally when it came out on Switch, it wasn't a free-to-play game. You had to buy the Founders Pack, which, knowing now, if I knew then what I knew now, I would have just given them the money then, because I'm going to segue into something right now that has to do with that after I finish answering your question. So that's what drew me in, is I liked the art style. And then when I realized it was basically Overwatch, I was like, oh, I don't have Overwatch anymore. I traded it in because it sat on my shelf for 4 months and I didn't even think about playing it anymore, which kind of bummed me out because you guys know how much I liked that game. It was my game of the year, 2016. So I was like, well, now that I know it's like an Overwatch style hero shooter, I want to play it. So then I was like, well, fuck, maybe I'll just give them money. Who knows? And then a couple weeks later, like, oh, our bad, it's free to play on Switch like it is everywhere else. And I was like, now I'm definitely going to play it. And then going through that training sequence, like I was telling you, and finding a healer character, I was like, I never play a healer. There's got to be something to this game. And so I just kept playing it. And the character I thought I was going to main, I don't even use. Like, he sits there and I'm like, I'm not going to fucking use this guy ever again.
Yeah.
Because I found another character in his class that I like way better. So yeah, that's like, and then the gameplay loop, it's just very satisfying, similar to Overwatch again, where after the end of the match, instead of telling you how bad you did, it shows you what you did well. Hey, you earned this many coins because you did this much damage, and as a healer you did that much healing, or if you have a shielded character, you did this much, you shielded yourself and other players for this long, you stayed on the point this long, and then if you scroll over, you can see what your KDA ratio is, your kill death assist ratio. And I don't even care about that anymore. Like, it's, I got in Overwatch.
It's just fun to play. I've never really looked at it either.
Yeah.
But just like getting in there and just.
You made him a believer. He was
I was not into it at first, but you slowly got me into it, and like
I just keep playing. Once you find the character you like, man.
Yeah.
It's one of those
it's
things.
Fun. It's like the new game that I played. I guess I don't know. It was new.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Once my team figured it out,
I was
pretty much with the same people throughout the 4 rounds that we played, and it was a lot of fun. Once they figured it out, I knew what I was doing. They didn't know.
Of course.
So it just got better and better, and then we just worked as a team, and we went round after round. Nobody dropped. So.
I've played that a few times, and I think it's really, really fun. It reminds me of a mode that was in Unreal Tournament back
I was
in the
gonna
day.
say that. Yeah, like, capture the flag Unreal Tournament.
Well, there was
Tournament-ish.
literally one in
Yeah.
Unreal Tournament where you had to collect a ball and shoot it through a hoop at the end.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, you're right. That one. Okay.
And that's what this reminds me of. But yeah, man, that's what kept me playing is how fun it is and how much I like playing as all these different types of characters. But yeah, so to transition to the thing I wanted to talk about was I wanted to buy the Battle Pass. So it's a season pass essentially, and you've seen the picture of the 3 circles that fill up that I've showed you.
Yeah.
The third one is your Battle Pass. So even if you don't have the Battle Pass, you're still building up the XP. So eventually when you do buy the Battle Pass, all the shit that you would have unlocked unlocks for you right away, right then. And my Battle Pass is up to level 55. So I was like, you know, I'm going to give these guys some money. I love this game. All I seem to be playing is this game. I'm going to give them some money. And so I went in and I was going to buy the Battle Pass. But on the Switch and on Xbox and on PlayStation, you cannot... So the Battle Pass costs $40.
Okay.
If you buy it on PC. On Switch and the other consoles, you have to buy crystals to buy the Battle Pass. And I was like, okay, cool, no big deal. There's probably a pack of crystals for $39.99 that gets you just enough crystals to buy the Battle Pass.
Yeah.
So I look in there. There's not. There's $35.99. That's 400 crystals short. And then there's $49.99. That's like 1,100 crystals over.
Okay.
And it's like, no. I want to give you $40. This is what I want to... Let me give you money on my own terms here. I'm trying to give you money. But I'm not going to give you money and then wait 2 weeks so I can earn enough crystals extra to buy the Battle Pass.
Yeah.
And I'm not ever going to use these fucking crystals, so there's no way I'm giving you $50 to have an overabundance of them. So I was like, well, let me look on the website. So I looked on the website, and you can buy the Battle Pass for $40. And I was like, all right, I'll just buy the Battle Pass on the website. They'll probably send me a code in the email because there's a redeem code function in all the games. So I do that, waiting. I look at my email, nothing. And I was like, And then I looked at my receipt, and I figured, oh, maybe it's on the virtual receipt, the code, right? There's no code. And I was like, and this was on Friday night. And I was like, fuck. How do I redeem the pass on Switch?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll send an email, forgetting it was Labor Day weekend, and it was Friday night. So I didn't get a response till Tuesday morning when everybody's back in offices. And they're like, oh, sorry, if you buy on the website, it's only eligible for the PC version. And I was like, okay, but there's a redeem code function. Can't you just like shoot me a code for the Battle Pass since I paid for it? Like, no, that's not like we don't have that function right now to do that. And I was like, okay, so what do I do? And the person goes, well, I can give you a refund. And I was like, all right. And then I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll take the refund. So they've processed the refund. And then they're like, is there anything else I can help you with? I go, yeah. Why can't I just outright buy the Battle Pass for $40 like I can on the website? Why do I have to buy the crystals on the console? I'm playing on Switch. And the person goes, that's just the system we have in place right now, but there's going to be a sale on crystals starting September 10th. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, 25% off. And I was like, really? So basically I'll be paying less for that overabundance of crystals than I would have to buy the Battle Pass.
How hard is it to earn crystals? I mean, you didn't... I think you...
I only have 210. And I've been playing
how many do you need?
80 hours. 2,800.
Okay.
So you can earn them and do it that way.
Yeah.
But like I said, I really enjoy this game and I love what they've done with it. And I want to support this development team. So I want to give them some money.
Right.
So I will be giving them some money when the crystals go on sale on September 10th. But it was
all my money, just a percentage.
It was just real funny. Like, and I was like, the person was like, "Don't worry, we're having a sale on next week for Switch specifically." So I was like, "Cool, thanks for
Nobody
letting
knows
me know."
about it yet.
Now they do. If I don't,
exclusive.
Good.
I don't know if that was out there or what, but I was told starting September 10th there will be or September 11th there'll be a sale on crystals on Switch for 10 days.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, I'll be getting the Battle Pass.
SSWL network.
And to go along with my Paladins talk, Rick, you should pull up that link under the controller I bought so you can take a look at it. I got a
that's not it.
Pro Controller knockoff. Like I was asking you earlier, Bryce, can you call it a knockoff?
That was the right link, Rick.
Huh?
You
That was
clicked
it?
the right thing. Yeah.
Can you call it a knockoff if all the parts come from the same country as the official ones?
Yeah.
So this is $30 on their website. I got it for $25 off Amazon, including tax. And it is a Pro Controller alternative. There's like two things I can say about this controller that I don't like, and I'll save that for the end. But first, I want to talk about how good it feels.
Okay.
It's lighter than a Pro controller. But did you ever have the translucent controllers back in the day?
Thanks for joining us, Louie. Feel free to come back next week.
Whatever console. They always had translucent controllers, like a PlayStation. You had a translucent controller, right?
Yeah, I've seen them. I've never had one, but
those always felt lighter than the regular ones because it's
yeah.
different plastic. That's essentially what this feels like, because mine, the one I have, like they have the frosted plastic on the Pro controller. The entire controller is translucent, so you can see everything in the controller, which is really fucking dope. But it's black still.
Right.
So it
looks
looks
through a bit on the Pro controller too.
Yeah, just on the top, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But like you can see the motor spinning, you can see everything on this controller, and I really dig that. It's USB-C, which I didn't expect, which I think is fucking rad.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it comes with the charging cable. The battery life, they claim 3 to 5 hours. I've played 2 nights in a row with it for 4 to 5 hours, and it hasn't died on me.
Nice.
So that's a good thing. But it's really light because it's that translucent plastic, so it's thinner plastic. Plus, the battery is a lot smaller than the Pro Controller battery, which again, I rarely play for 5 hours or more anyway, so I don't think that's going to affect me. And just like my DualShocks, I plug those in after I'm get done playing anyway, because they can charge passively through the consoles.
I don't like where the home button is.
On top?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like an Xbox One controller. That's exactly what this thing looks like. If you Google image search Xbox One controller, it looks exactly like an Xbox One controller. If you feel like $70,
is that what you look like while using the controller?
Oh yeah, just as good as I do.
Yeah.
If you like $70 for a Pro controller, a licensed Pro controller is too much, and you want a wireless controller, and this is in the same price range as the Power A licensed ones that are wired, that don't have any of the features in them at all. That's literally just the controller.
Yeah.
But this has rumble. This does everything the Pro controller does with the exception of NFC, which I don't have any amiibo, so I don't use that anyway.
And HD rumble, right?
Huh?
And it locks the
and
HD
rumble. But the only games that really take advantage of that are the first party games anyway. Because even Lumines Remastered, that supposedly takes advantage of the HD rumble in the Joy-Con and the Pro controller, still just feels like a fucking rumbling mess when you play it. So I just turn the rumbling off in the game. So it's a very subtle thing that doesn't work in most games, honestly. It's just rumble, okay, it's off. So, I mean, like I said, Mario, Zelda, Mario Kart, those use the HD rumble great.
Yeah.
But basically everything else is just on and off. But yeah, it's comfortable as all hell. The thumbsticks are concaved and they're smooth on the inside, but they have like ridges around the outside, so your thumb catches right here, but where your thumb is actually sitting in the sticks, it's smooth, so it feels comfortable.
Yeah.
Like the movement, it's brand new, so the sticks are nice and tight. The triggers are analog, which is weird, but they engage as soon as you make any kind of movement.
Yeah. I wish Nintendo would go back to
analog. Or the old.
Or wait, the triggers are analog, not digital?
Yeah.
Why?
Just because that's the style of controller they made.
That's interesting. Because I mean, I don't know how that would even be used.
Well, I mean, it's like I said, as soon as you engage it, the slightest bit, it triggers.
Yeah.
So it actually, for a couple of the characters that don't have automatic weapons, that have semi-auto weapons, it's actually easier for me to feather that than it is the clicky button, because I could literally just go like that, and it'll trigger every time. And again, that's not knocking the triggers or anything on the Pro Controller or the Joy-Con. Those feel great too.
Yeah.
But just something about that feels really familiar, and knowing that I don't have to bury the trigger every time I use it.
I mean, I've always preferred analog anyways, but yeah.
And the ZL and ZR buttons on top feel so good because they click so satisfyingly. Like it's a loud click, and one of the things that people complain about this controller is how loud the buttons are, but I love it. I know I've hit that fucking button.
Yeah.
And what?
It's totally kind of sort of off topic.
Yeah.
ZL
ZR
and ZR. Why is it named Z?
Because it
L and ZR. Was that it on the
N64
controller?
Was the Z button on the back.
They call it the Z button, and so then the L and R is like left and right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that was it. I just wanted to know if it was because, like, calling back to, like, the older controllers.
Yeah, to
okay.
the N64 Z button.
Gotcha. Okay, that's
Okay.
all.
But yeah, man, the buttons are nice and big. Like, it basically feels like a Pro Controller in my hands,
Mhm.
except it's a little lighter, but not flimsy. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? So I love it.
I wish you brought it. know you tried
I
to.
was going to. I'll bring it next week so you can
Just
feel
'cause
it.
I would have liked to feel both side by side.
Yeah. The two things about it that are put offs.
I already know this, so you could
Yeah.
aim this over.
The plastic is thinner, so when the motors spin up for the rumble, like if you have the controller sitting down, if you're not holding it, it sounds like the thing is gonna fucking explode because there's not a lot of weight to the controller, so it just immediately starts going like bouncing around. And it's like, all right, well, let me hold it. But when you're holding it, it feels and sounds fine. And that's like the biggest functionality knock I have of the controller. The other thing that is god awful. You see that home button, Rick? The home button. You see how the outside it looks silverish?
Yeah.
Well, it's not. It's clear. There's an LED light behind it to let you know what player you are. 1, 2, 3, or 4, right?
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Just like an Xbox controller. But instead of being a nice, minimal, dim green, it's a fucking bright LED light. And it's clear plastic around it. I took pictures of the LED light that I'm going to show you at how bright it is. I showed Bryce because it was fucking hilarious how bright it is. To where I play with at night because everybody's in bed and that's when I play. And the lights are off. And the only light is coming from the television set. So when the television set goes black because something is loading in, if I glance, I don't even have to move my head down, Rick. If I just kind of like glance my eyes down, this is what I see in my eyes.
Oh my god.
So then I took a picture of it with the TV backlight so you can still see how bright it is.
That's pretty bright.
And
You
then-
gotta email me the pictures. I guess,
Yeah,
or-
I will. And then I took one. The first one I purposely didn't want the lens to focus, so it would show you how bright it was. But you see the hue on my hand of color? There's no
Yeah.
other light on in the room. That's the hue of light coming from the controller button right there.
It's cool.
It's super bright. It is not cool.
You can't shut it off.
No.
That
I think
sucks.
that's kind of cool.
It hurts my eyes. So what I'm probably gonna end up doing, I'm just gonna go to Michael's and get a black paint marker and just fill in that right there. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's too much fucking light, man. Too much
But
light.
overall, you're happy with it.
Yeah, I love it, man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the Smash Edition Pro Controller?
Yeah.
I have.
That thing's pretty cool looking, like the black and the white. I like how that
It definitely looks pretty cool. I'm not a Smash guy.
looks. I mean, I'm not either.
I'm not either, but I think
the
the
controller
controller-
looks pretty dope.
Yeah. But that's my Paladin stuff. So my Paladin's experience, my experience with their customer service, and the reason I bought this Pro controller was because of that. I wanted to play Paladins and be more comfortable.
Yeah.
And it definitely is way more comfortable.
Cool, man.
I dig it a lot.
Well, I'm glad it worked out for you. And like I said, if nothing else, if you ever get a second controller, you'd have both. You can get a Pro one day.
Yeah.
If that ever comes down to it. Like I said, it's not really like, $23, like you've got nothing to lose. It gets you
Right.
something now.
Yep.
If it ends up being shit or, you don't like it, nothing's stopping you from getting the real deal down the road if that ever were to happen. You
Right.
know? So it was a win-win. Or maybe you get a second one of those. So
Maybe.
who knows?
I gave me shit for buying used
Used what?
used games from Nintendo. And he's like,
I did?
no, buy the games and give them the money. And here you are buying an off-brand controller. and
Because
not
that
supporting
controller is
Nintendo.
overpriced.
How if you get it on sale?
I understand the technology that's in it. I get that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be using the shit that makes it extra.
Yeah.
Well, the
Hypocrite,
battery is
man,
nice.
hypocrite.
But
Yeah.
the battery's nice.
Anyway, Henry Cavill's playing Geralt of Rivia in the Witcher Netflix series. That's fucking dope.
Okay.
I've played about 15 to 20 hours of The Witcher, which means I've only played about a tenth of the game, according to people.
I
I've
didn't
only
even
heard
know
you
this was
talk
being
about it.
made.
Yeah.
They're making a show based on The Witcher?
Yeah. Well, yes. So the games are based on books.
I think Cheesy's drunk.
The TV show is going to also be based on the books and not necessarily on the game.
So there's probably going to be a lot of fucking sex in this show.
I've never read the books, so I don't know. But like I
know,
said,
but if the game
is on record as the horniest game I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
Ever. Everybody in that game wants to fuck
So
you.
Witcher porn is coming to Netflix.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I don't see Henry Cavill as Geralt. but I like to watch him try. It'll be cool to see.
Yeah, I know nothing.
I wanted to bring it up just because you guys know I started playing The Witcher this year. It's like 4 years later, but it's a really good ass game, and I think it's a game that, with all the problems it has with its controls and the battle and the combat system and all of that, the world and the characters and the story are worth seeing. You guys should. This was basically a way for me to tell you guys again that you should probably get and play The Witcher 3. And
I mean, I've always considered it. You've heard me bring it up to you
Yeah.
because, like, I don't know.
Just pull the trigger, man. It's so cheap all the time. You can get it for $20.
Stuff I should be playing though.
But if you keep saying that, you'll never play anything.
I know, but it's like I can't. I know, and that you're not wrong. But I mean, I like it's just not appealing to me to go ahead and buy The Witcher when I still have to fucking play Horizon.
I was listening to Kind of Funny Morning? No, Game Over Greggy show. Where they had, I guess, one of the stunt women for Scarlett Johansson. I guess her and her husband or boyfriend, I don't remember, stream on Twitch. And what do they call it? Attacking the Stack.
Okay.
Where they attack their backlog of games. They're like, that's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
You should do that.
You should do that.
And stream it.
You should.
I should do that for
too.
TV.
Yeah.
And video games. No. You fucking have Zelda that you've barely fucking touched. You have Mario that you're like, dude, and are you gonna go get Spider-Man? You'll probably beat Spider-Man before you ever beat Mario or Zelda.
Yeah, he will. He'll fucking power through Spider-Man.
Actually, I have a hunch that I watch he doesn't. I bet he'll play it. He'll think it's exciting, but then it'll tail off. And then when's Pokemon come out?
November.
Okay.
I saw your fat pre-order for that.
Hell yeah, I pre-ordered that shit.
Yeah, I just wanted to take a minute and talk about how good the Witcher games are, and I've actually considered reading the books because Vinny Caravella from Giant Bomb is somebody who gets deep into lore for games, and he's read the books, and he said that they're really good books.
Okay.
And when the news first came out about this, he was very excited about it. But now they've got casting. Henry Cavill is Geralt. Geralt of Rivia.
Is there a projected date for this shit?
I
Probably
don't
not.
think
Doesn't
so.
look like it. Yeah, no premiere date for the series at this time. All right then.
Yeah.
Is there anything else today?
Yes. I want to talk about all the cool ass or crazy ports that are still to come to the Switch. A couple of them already come out. Gone Home is out on Switch. I think that's cool. It's another place for people to play that amazing fucking game. If you haven't, get it. It's worth it.
That's on my backlog. I own it on Steam.
Seeing Hyper Light Drifter come out on Switch is cool because I'm just listening to old. I've been listening to old Bombcast, Giant Bomb Game of the Year stuff, and 2015, Alex Navarro wouldn't stop talking about Hyper Light Drifter. Into the Breach, I know Jared Petty's always talking about on Games Daily, and Vinny Caravello's always talking about Into the Breach. That's on there. Towerfall, which was a Ouya exclusive game for a little while and then came everywhere else, is coming out. That's actually a really fun couch multiplayer game, four-player competitive game. And the last one that I want to talk about real quick, Saints Row the motherfucking Third.
I saw that in the
coming
notes.
To Switch
I'm probably gonna
in
get
2019. I'm gonna buy it again. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna buy it again.
That was a lot of
Unless
fun.
it's $60, I'm buying it again.
It shouldn't be $60.
No,
yeah,
it
if
shouldn't.
it's that much, I'm not going to buy it.
Right. I'm looking at
That's too much.
30, 40 tops.
I'll do it at 30.
Yeah, 30 would be good. That's
Yeah.
the sweet spot. $29.99.
30 is good.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I
They
didn't know
announced it
about
at Gamescom. So the week I was out when you recorded it at Studio A, that was one of the things. Like, I had so much game shit from Gamescom that I'm slowly putting in now over the next couple of weeks. But Saints Row the Third on Switch.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Fuck.
Take it with you.
Yeah, man. Like, I am super excited to play through that game co-op with you again and to play with you again. Because Rick and I platinumed that game together.
Yeah.
And then you and I played through the story
Played it.
together.
I remember you guys played it. I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was Was there a Zelda game out or something at the time? I think there was. I want to say like the
That
Zelda
was
for the
2011.
For the Wii.
That was the same year, I think, as Uncharted 2.
There wasn't a Zelda for the Wii U. No, what's the Zelda for
Skyward
the Wii U?
Sword?
I think Skyward Sword and I want to say Skyward Sword and Saints Row the Third came out at the same time.
I think they came out the same day or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna buy this fucking game. Which leads me to the last story here. THQ Nordic, who used to be Nordic Games, and they bought a bunch of THQ stuff. which is hilarious that Saints Row the Third is going to come back out again as a THQ game again.
That is fucking weird.
I say by this time next year they're just going to be called THQ and not THQ Nordic. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is something that I'm super hyped about, and I think you might be as well.
Mm-hmm.
The good homie Jared Petty talked about this on Kind of Funny Games Daily. THQ Nordic bought the rights to Kingdoms of Amalur, to all the 38 Studios properties. So that was the MMO, which they were codenaming Copernicus, that apparently was really close to coming out before that studio got shut down. And Kingdoms of Amalur, which was like the world that Copernicus takes place in. And they did an action RPG with all the lore in it called Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning that you played the demo of and really, really liked.
I did like the demo.
I played about 15 to 20 hours of that game, and I really, really liked the story of it. I never finished it, but the prospect of it coming back out and hopefully on Switch, like, and you know, I'm not that guy that's like, just put everything on Switch, but like, this was an 2009, 2010 PS3, Xbox 360 game. The Switch could run that no problem. So I am looking forward to the forthcoming announcement of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning coming back out on consoles.
Yeah, that was interesting news. We would have had even more video game news this week, but the earthquake in Japan delayed that Nintendo Direct, which I'm guessing the Direct will probably happen this week.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But,
my hunch is that's going to be about online services, hopefully.
Yeah, it's 35 minutes long, so it's going to be about a lot of stuff.
And that should be coming out in the next couple of weeks, too, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, Rick, is a really fun action RPG.
I remember you guys talking about it, or someone talking about it a lot. Probably you.
It was us. It was us.
Or both of you.
Probably both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds familiar.
But yeah, man, if they remaster that and put that out on Switch, I'll buy that there too, as long as it's not full price title. But the funny thing is, like, THQ Nordic, all the games, like, they put out Darksiders Remastered. They put out what's it called? Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered Edition. I'm sorry. Darksiders, the first one was War Mastered Edition because you play War, Postman of the Apocalypse. Darksiders 2 was the Definitive Edition because you played Death. So it's funny that, like, so all these games they're putting back out at a lower price point, obviously, than they were when they released. And they're doing well. They're charting, they're tracking, and people are remembering, man, I loved Red Faction. Man, I loved Darksiders. And Darksiders 3 is coming out in November this year, and that's amazing to me because I love that franchise, and I'm so glad that they got enough people back under their umbrella to make the game they wanted to make to begin with.
Isn't Darksiders coming to the Switch?
Darksiders 3?
No, not that.
1 and 2?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like that's a story. I could be wrong.
I mean, it might be. It's a PS3, Xbox 360 game. There's no reason why it couldn't. But yeah, man, THQ Nordic is knocking it out of the park. Everybody kept saying, like, I miss those mid-tier, those 7 out of 10 games that we used to get all the time that would kind of fill the gaps in the release season. And they're putting all those games back out. And they bought the IP of Time Splitters and Second Sight, 2 games that I really loved.
Splitters. Sounds familiar.
Time Splitters? It's a really fun shooter. And then Second Sight.
You should know Time Splitters. Like, that's like almost a staple in arcade game. In arcades.
That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, yeah.
Love it. So I'm excited about THQ Nordic eventually just being THQ again and putting all these awesome games out. That's it.
Alrighty.
Oh look, I never took off the
sticker?
The plastic sticker. I've had this for like years.
Oh shit.
I took the blue plastic off of my controller right away after I sent you that picture.
Of course you
felt
did.
so good.
Of course you
felt
did.
so good.
Oh yeah, you like to leave them on, huh?
No, well, I don't know that it's like a thing.
It's a fucking thing.
It just depends on where it's located, and
it's not a thing. It just happens.
It just depends.
Which means he had it on his phone screen for like almost a year at one point. I was like, I'm gonna rip this off. And he goes,
I did have it on my phone for a while.
So I didn't.
I don't remember which phone that was.
Yeah, Thunderbolt.
Was it the Thunderbolt?
Yep.
It wasn't the. Are you sure it wasn't the Galaxy S3?
No, it was the Thunderbolt.
Okay.
Just don't be like me where you leave it on and you keep wondering why you're not getting any audio from the videos you've recorded. And you figure it out last minute that you left plastic on and it's covering the fucking microphone. And I had video of Olivia Munn on that.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
Oh, was that when we went to
the Daily Festival?
News thing.
Yeah, that's funny.
Anyways, that is our show for this week.
Yeah.
Real quick, just want to give the shout out to UF Disciple for following us, as well as Louis Crab, Aiden 0611, homie.
Come on, you're Mexican. The homie Dueñas.
Oh, Dueñas, okay. Yeah, but
I gotta say, big shouts out to the Cheese Block Army for coming out strong today.
We apparently have a...
I don't even, like I said, drop the army. Thanks for bringing the cheese block and slicing off a few slices of cheese for us.
Yeah.
Spicy Pepino and Cyber Wee. All of you guys, thanks for joining us live. And for the follow. This is for the follow, yeah.
Yeah.
And anyone who hasn't followed yet, thank you. We're only 5 away now from having 50 followers, which means once we get 50, we could hopefully get affiliated.
Oh, okay.
So that would be nice. So come back next week when we stream live.
Yeah.
Bryce, take us home.
Alrighty. Okay, so like Rick already said, anybody that joined us live, we appreciate that. If you want to join us live, follow us on social media and you will be alerted when we go live on Twitch. You don't have to watch us live though, because we will put up the audio of the show on Tuesday morning if you just want to listen. If you don't want to listen, you want to watch in little small like doses, we will also put up clips throughout the week. On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we put up 2 on Thursday usually. Sometimes this shit changes, but this is generally how it goes down. And then if you don't want to watch in clips and you want to watch the whole thing and sit back with a beer or pizza or food or whatever, you can do that on Friday at noon. It will be up, and you can watch the entire show in video form. That's the first time you will get to do that, is not till Friday, where you can watch it in video form, unless you catch us live. So I lied. It's not the first time you can do that. If you miss us live, the first time you get to watch this whole
all right. Easy, kid. You're going to
on Friday. I'm good. I'm still good. You want me to keep promoting and pumping shit out? I will. So with that said, it's fucking hot in here, and
until next time.
That was some shit we like.